friends, this is Dawn Compton, the pastor at Main Street United Methodist Church, and I'm here today to bring you our weekly Wednesday Word. I came outside to enjoy this wonderful day that God has given us, and just came out into the middle of our courtyard area just to enjoy this day, to be in a different kind of place, to be just sitting on the ground doing something different. I think that's maybe a challenge for us these days, is to look at things differently, to think about doing ministry differently, to think about being the church differently. That's why we've been using the past few weeks our worship series, Fear Not, Stand Firm, and that we were looking at what the early church was going through as we look at the book of Acts and all of the things that they were dealing with and confronting and having to work through in the early church, and how that can guide us to be in ministry today. And so that's what we've been doing, and I want us to continue to do that. We're going to have one more week in that worship series this Sunday, and we're going to be looking at the end of Acts and how it ends up with Paul imprisoned in Rome, and how he was dealing with that in our worship this Sunday. But today, the word I want to bring you is a little bit different. I want to bring you a word from this book. It's called Canoeing the Mountains. It's by Tod Bolsinger. And if you've not read this book yet, I encourage you to get a copy of it, to read this, and maybe help you think through what it might look like for Main Street to do church differently as we are attempting to canoe the mountains. It's a different way of looking at it. As we are coming out of this pandemic, church, if we're going to still be the church and reach the world, reach the community, reach the new generations for Jesus Christ, we're going to have to do church differently. And I know that might be uncomfortable for some of us, but it's time for us to think about that and what that might look like, and how we can be the church for all God's people, so that we can be a place, a people that everyone can feel welcomed and a part of here at Main Street. This book talks about canoeing the mountains. It talks about Lois and Clark's trip out west, as they were plotting and looking at that and giving guidance as to what it looks like. And they had canoes ready to go into the water, and what they found instead were mountains. And so this book helps us to look at that what they were prepared for was different than what they encountered. And what we in the church have been prepared for in the past is going to be different than what we are encountering here in 2021. So I'm going to read you just a little bit of helping us to get reoriented in how we are doing things. These are 5 things to think about, summarizing the lessons that are in here. It says this is summarizing the 5 vital lessons. First, the world in front of you is nothing like the world behind you. The world that we are looking at in 2021, and that's going to happen in 2022 and down into the future, is nothing like the world from the 60s, the 50s, 70s, 80s, 90s. It's a different world, friends. The world in front of us is different than the world behind us. No one is going to follow you off the map unless they trust you on the map. So that's, friends, I'm hoping that we together have been building this sense of trust, this sense of community, that I've been with you now for a year, and that we trust one another, that we have God's will as our focus that's guiding us in the direction where we're going, and that we are trusting one another in this journey. Number 3, in uncharted territory, adaptation is everything. We're going to have to adapt. We're going to have to change. We're going to have to figure out new ways of doing things. Number 4, You cannot go alone. We need one another, friends. We need each other to help us in this journey, to help support one another, and to get us through to whatever the next thing is that we're trying to do. We need you, friends. Main Street needs you to be a part of these next steps wherever we're going to go. And then number 5, everybody will be changed. Everybody will be changed. That includes me as the leader. I'm doing ministry in ways that I hadn't thought about doing before. It's definitely not ways that I was trained when I was going through school, graduate school, and seminary. But I'm doing what I feel God is calling us to do to reach new people for Jesus Christ. And I hope you will be a part of that. So as we are emerging out of this pandemic and we're looking at what's next for Main Street, don't be surprised if we're doing something a little bit differently. And I hope that you will think about how you could be doing things differently, and that together we are going to make a difference for Jesus Christ. We are going to actively serve God and serve people, but we may just be doing it in a new and creative way. And I'm excited, friends, about that possibility. Want to lift up just one announcement today, and that is just to remind you that we are still having a picnic. Friends, we still want to eat and fellowship and be with one another, and that's so much fun and it's so important. We are having a church picnic this Sunday, June 27th from 4 until 7. We are going to be at the Claytor Nature Center. I hope that you will meet us there. Bring your own picnic basket, your own food for your own family, and we're just going to just relax and just be together and have some fun together. And I hope you'll be able to join us for that fun adventure this Sunday. Friends, I look forward to worshiping with you either in person on Sunday morning at 10:30 or worshiping with you online this weekend. Have a great rest of the week. Bye, friends.